the main issue has occurred, well, before the restrictions came into place. She was coming into my office. We were discussing, you know, how she could do appropriate self-care. She has a tendency to put other people ahead of her. Her needs are always last. She's the manager of the house, and she's always in charge. She said things like, I can't ever, take a break because everything will fall apart. You know, she's her husband as not as capable as she to manage the household. Then when the restrictions, the quarantine went into effect, everybody is now home. So the children are not in school, they're at home, and husband is at home, client is at home. The children are, they have behavioral issues. They both came from a traumatized background, and he is on the spectrum. So he has some degree of autistic tendencies. Daughter, it would be, I don't know if she's been diagnosed with intermittent explosive disorder. I said that right. Anyway, she definitely has impulse control, and she tends to be somewhat aggressive with mom when she doesn't get her way. As time has gone on with the quarantine, the behavioral issues have escalated. Both the daughter and the son, have a tendency to break things, throw things in the house. And my client is struggling even more with trying to find some space for herself. Her husband is in the high risk category, and so he has been very concerned about the virus and does not really want anyone leaving the house. They don't have any form of play dates. There's only one friend that comes by every day, and they talk through the screen door, but there's no other interaction for the children. When she's out, they don't abide by the wearing the masks, or they just touch everything, and so they have really kind of reined in any kind of outings that they do. I'm concerned about her welfare. She more recently was saying that she was definitely getting deeper into depression. She at one point went into her room and kind of just checked out. Husband did come check on her, so that was good, and offered some comfort. But she's feeling really stuck, and I am feeling really stuck along with her. We've been talking about different ways to engage the daughter, to give her some one-on-one time and that kind of thing. But basically, they're kind of running amok right now. And my client is very, very tired and, despairing of having any semblance of management in the house that she used to have, especially with having school as part of the break, in the day for her kids and for herself.
Wow, initial just not necessarily problem solving for the rest of you, but just initial gut reactions as you hear this case. Like, what's the impact upon you?
Makes sense that she's exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And then having little one on the spectrum, I can't imagine what that would be like for her in a mom's shoes. And then having the whole day feel chaotic when she had such a structure purposefully.
Yeah, that I think that's my exact thought is of course she's exhausted because and of course it's making her feel worse, the fact that there is no routine and structure and control anymore, because she is so used to that and she craves that, especially because of the behavioral issues. It must be so hard for her.
Now, Christine, you say you feel stuck, and so does she. Can you describe that stuckness a bit more?
Well, it feels like she's in prison. She doesn't have any like weekend pass. Every day is the same. It's like she jokingly, you've probably heard this. A lot of people are saying it's like Groundhog's Day.
Yes.
Every day's the same. And so, yeah, she, when I have sessions with her and I'm listening to what she's describing, I honestly feel like I don't have any method to offer her, and if you're aware of what happens when somebody's in the system, there's wraparound, there's behavioral analysts that come in and usually help redirect the children, and so none of those support systems are in place because everybody is keeping distance.
Wow.
Has no respite. They have no respite, and the kids don't have socialization with their friends. They're confused, they're acting out, and directing, especially the daughter is directing all of her aggression towards my client, towards her mom.
Has that always been the case? That mom would be the place that she would land all that aggression to?
Yes.
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of the COVID situation, it's always towards mom.
Yes.
Christine, if there is a question that you have for us listening to the case, that it would be helpful for our perspective on some of the ways that you've been thinking about this case. Could you share a question or two that we could chew on?
You mean as far as like looking for guidance,
right?
What to do?
Mm-hmm.
So I've met with her, I think 3 times since the quarantine started.
Mm-hmm. First
time it was kind of more like crisis counseling, just trying to provide empathy and be a listening ear and just validating what she's experiencing in that. Second time we met, it felt a little the same. And then the third time we met, I started to realize, okay, is this all that we're doing now? Because the factors haven't changed. I don't know how to direct her, how to guide her. I did talk to her about trying to create some space, which she's discovered that her car is the place that she can like shut everybody.
Uh-huh.
So
the healthy quarantine from the nasty quarantine.
Yeah, so there's very little space for her to go to.
Right.
To find a quiet, because her kids are very loud and noisy, and yeah. So the question would be, I'm open to any ideas or suggestions I can provide for her.
Sure.
That I'm trying to tell her what to do, but I'm just, I could use a little bit of guidance on like how best to support her in less than ideal circumstances. I mean, even more so than what was before.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Sarah and Jen, is it easy for you to conceptualize visually, or I don't know, a synonym for visually, what's going on in that situation?
To be able to picture mom and the kids and dad in the home and all the chaos going on.
That's the word that's what's popping in my mind too. It feels so chaotic, and yet maybe because it feels so chaotic, I'm not quite sure how to visualize that.
I'm just kind of picturing things like spinning out of her control.
Yeah, right.
I can't really articulate what and how that would look like. I guess my assumption would be that kind of spinning feeling for her.
Jen, what about you?
The first thing that I thought of was, I imagine it being her against them.
Oh.
this feeling of like they're all coming at me,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to like keep everything in check in order, trying to have some sort of semblance of normalcy, but it still feels like it's me against them. They're kind of, bouncing off the walls,
Yeah.
doing whatever, and then essentially attacking the client as well. And then she's just trying to just kind of take cover. And sometimes she needs to retreat to the car.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I like both of those. I like the spinning, the chaotic spinning. I like the me versus them versus me. I like both of them.